Okay, here's your first two preamp tubes. They're both Telefunken waffle plate 12AX7s. Today those tubes are probably about $150 if they're in good condition, and I imagine they are, but we'll find out for sure as we test them. The furthest one away, I've already hand cleaned all the pins on it, so you might be able to tell in the picture that the pins are much shinier on the one further away. You can see it reflecting way more light off each pin. Getting ready to test those. Those are Telefunken waffle plates is what they're known as common. I think you can see on there. There's the Telefunken logo. Those are nice tubes, and they're probably in fine shape. Preamp tubes outlast power tubes by a ratio of about 2 to 1. You can go ahead and test them. Goes tube number 1 into my tester. When it goes in the filament, it'll pull down the needle a little bit. That's good. Then the tube will warm up, and that tube, accordingly on my thing here, should get a reading of about 1250 on the first scale here. So pretty much if it stays in the middle, that's considered a decent tube as far as the tube tester is concerned. And where you're testing what they designated as the second part of the tube, and that's where the grid is on pin 2 and the plate is pin 1, and the cathode is, God, it should be pin 3. There's no screen on here, that's why it's on 0. Okay. Alright, so let's see what we get test wise. Yep, that's a happy 12AX7 right there in the middle, at least on the second part, and that's the clean one, so I'll go ahead and pull that guy out. Let's try the second one. His pins aren't cleaned yet, but it won't make much difference in this test, but it'll make it be staticky and pop over time in an amplifier, especially as it heats up and cools down. Alright, let's let it warm up. Right, here we go. So this one's a little weaker. Come on. There we go. Lands right about there. The other one hit about the middle. So it's kind of like within 10% of the first one. And then the needle goes back to the middle, and that's representing that it's balanced on the incoming voltage in the house. And actually I've determined with my trusty fluke meter that it's best to run it about a notch high. So I'm bringing up the line voltage. That there gives me about 117 volts going in here, which this thing was designed to run on. So my meter floats off a little. Now that the voltage is increased, it will also go up correspondingly higher because there's more voltage on the tube. Alright, now we've switched to the other half of this tube. There's two triodes in these miniature tubes. They're dual triode tubes, and what that one is it ends up that the grid's on 7, the plate is on 6, and the cathode is on 8. And that's the way they are. Let's test this side and see how this is. That's good and strong. Alright, now I'll put back in tube number 1. So now we've checked both sides of tube number 2. Now we're going to go back and check the first side of tube 1. Alright, tube 1's warmed up. Let's check it. Yep, it's reasonable also. I've got a current production 12AX7. I'll put it in the machine, let it warm, and show you what that looks like too. That's this guy here. Oh no, that's a EC81. That's a current Chinese 12AU7. But from my experience, I know that that's usually pretty acceptable on this meter. The real test is the ears. If they sound really crisp and poppy and dynamic, then we pretty much know.